Today we're opening a secret. Not a YouTube trick, not a plugin, an actual filmmaking secret. I literally brought it in a box so you'd remember it. Because once you understand this, your low light footage will never look the same again. Last episode we were fighting the sun, today we're fighting the darkness. And if you've ever shot a night scene with the Sony FX30, brought the footage home, opened it in Premiere or Resolve and watched the shadows explode into grain like a swarm of ants, then you know the pain I'm talking about. And today you're going to learn one simple camera setting that can dramatically reduce noise in your low light footage and help your Sony FX30 produce a cleaner, more cinematic image. Everything you're about to see is shot on a Sony FX30 with minimal gear because cinematic results don't come from expensive cameras. They come from how you use light and control the image. You can give a great filmmaker basic tools and they'll create something incredible. Give bad technique the best gear in the world and it still won't look right. Hey everybody, my name is Dave. Welcome to Post Street Studios. And if you like practical filmmaking tips like this, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below if you have questions. By the end of this video, you'll understand the simple signal to noise ratio principle that professional cinematographers use so your night footage looks smoother, sharper, and more professional. Hey everybody, real quick, I just wanted to tell you about my Sony FX30 course that's out now. It's the Sony FX30 Handheld Mastery course, and in this course I show you that you don't need a gimbal or expensive gear or any of that stuff. You can get cinematic, smooth, intentional handheld footage with some of the simple principles that I teach. It's real-world filmmaking and handheld shooting made simple. It's got a lot of video modules to it. It leads you through step-by-step, downloadable PDF, all that stuff. And best of all, the cost is less than going out to eat one time. So it's a total no-brainer. So if you have a chance, check it out. It's linked in the description below. And I look forward to seeing you over there. Now, let's get back to the secret to getting better low-light footage. The internet will tell you just denoise it, throw on a plugin, buy some expensive software, fix it in post. But here's the thing, the greatest cinematographers in the world have a very different philosophy. Roger Deakins once said, the best images are created in camera, not repaired later. Today I'm going to show you a strange, almost backwards setting that will make your Sony FX30 low light footage dramatically cleaner before you even press record. And the crazy part is, FX30 owners already have this tool sitting inside their camera. They just don't know how to use it. So first of all, to understand this trick, we have to understand the sensor. The FX30 has two base ISOs, 800 and 2500. I've gone over this in videos before. If you want to check them out, I'll post them here and here. Now, a lot of people panic when they hear 2500. They think the ISO equals more noise. But on a dual base ISO sensor, that assumption is wrong. When you switch from 800 to 2500, the camera isn't just turning up the brightness the way normal ISO works. It's switching circuits. It's like shifting gears in a sports car. And when you hit that second gear, the sensor suddenly becomes extremely sensitive to light. Cinematographer Shane Hulbert once said something powerful about digital sensors. Light is the paint of cinema. Without light, there is no image. And this is where most people misunderstand noise. Noise is not really about ISO. Noise is about signal. Think of your image like a radio station. The music is your image. The static is your noise floor. If the music is quiet, you hear the static. If you record the music loud, the static disappears. And here's the secret. The trick is forcing the sensor to record a louder signal, even in low light. This is where Cine EI becomes magic. So let's go into the camera. So first thing we want to do is come over to our camera, come into the main menu, come to this first home screen, and then come down here. Right here you have 2500 ISO. This is where you select between 800 and 2500. Select 2500. Then come over to the exposure index. Now, depending on where you're at, yours might be on 2500. which is about where it is standard, but if you've been changing it, it might be different. But 2500, basically at 2500, you're matching the ISO. So the camera and the sensor, they're thinking the same thing as the sensor and the exposure index are thinking the same thing. So as a general rule, they say you shouldn't go over 2500 with 2500 ISO. And if you're on 800 ISO, you wouldn't want to go over 800 on the exposure index. Now that's just a very rough rule that I've heard, and I found it to work pretty well in my own stuff. But so for this, we're going to take this exposure index and we're going to turn it down to, well, turn it down to 1250. Now what you see is the image getting darker, and you might be saying, why would I want to make my image darker if I'm underexposed? So if we come back out here, we can see at this point with this light, I'm still at plus 0.3. So a little bit over the regular exposure. But if you're in a really dark scene, you might be at a lot less than that. So what does this actually do? Well, when we bring this down to, when we lower the rate, the exposure index rate, we have to bring in more light or change the f-stop or whatever we need to do. We have to force more light into the camera, and that's the important part of this. So what you see here, you have to remember, is not always what is recording, because the camera's recording an image that probably looks a little bit more like this. So what we're doing is we're using that halfway point, right? 2500 base ISO. We're cutting the exposure index down to 1250, and now we're going to expose on that. And that is where I find that you get a cleaner image, is when you expose that way. We have to remember that what we're seeing on the monitor is not always what's being recorded, depending on where our exposure index is at. The camera is still recording the base ISO of either 800 or 2500, depending which setting you're on. And on the monitor, what we're doing is seeing what the finished image is going to look like after we grade it. We can see what it looks like if we underexpose it and grade it in a very dark and moody way, or we can see what it looks like if we overexpose it and make it brighter. What you just did was trick your monitor system. You told the camera to pretend it's less sensitive, which forces you to add more light. Open your aperture, slow your shutter, bring in a light, move your subject closer to the light source. Whatever you do, you're now pushing more photons into the sensor, and this is exactly what the sensor wants. More light, more signal, less noise. When you bring that footage into your editor, it'll look bright, very bright. But the moment you apply your conversion LUT, the exposure drops back down to normal. And here's the magic. Because you recorded it at a stronger signal and then pulled it down, the noise floor gets crushed. Your shadows suddenly become smooth, clean, cinematic. This is one of the oldest tricks in digital cinematography. Colorist Steve Yedlin explained it perfectly when he said, the cleaner image always comes from capturing more signal, not repairing noise later. So here's the golden rule of clean, low light on the FX30. Rate lower to get cleaner. If your base ISO is 2500, rate your exposure at 1250. Expose until the monitor looks correct, and then let the sensor record a stronger signal. But there is one catch. You can't cheat physics. If you're already at f1.8 and your scene is still dark, no camera setting will save you, because sensors don't record darkness, they record photons, which is why every cinematographer carries at least one small light, what I call a pocket sun. A tiny LED panel, a little edge light, just enough to kiss the subject's face, not enough to light the whole street. So as I said before, I literally brought this to you in a box so you'd remember it. So let's have a look. Our first option, this guy right here, this is a pocket LED light. It's pretty bright. This is at 5% right now. So like I was saying, we want just enough light to kind of kiss the subject. So if you're out at night, it's a dark street, This thing is going to like really hit the face, and it's going to light your subject. It's not going to work in all things. You know, this is like, obviously this is not a high powered light to shoot through windows and things like that, but it's just enough to give a little edge. You can use it as a hair light. This one is made by Neewer. So this is a Neewer light. It's actually really cool because it's got a few different modes. You got your orange, your orangey light. So this is your RGB. Goes all the way, you know, through the whole color spectrum. And then you've got what, 15 different types of presets. You got lightning, party, fireworks, TV screen, you know, all these different presets for this. So this one is very cool, very affordable light. I'll link this down below if you want to check it out. Also has threads in each end, so you can just screw a little tripod stand into it, one of those little portable tripod ends. I also use it on this guy here. This is just a fluid ball head, and I will take it and I'll put this piece on here. Screw this thing down, and then it connects right into here. And then from there, you can just take this and mount it on any type of a tripod stand. And that way you can get different angles. You can mount it high like this. A lot of different options that you can do with that. So this one's a very cool light, very affordable. I will say the best thing about this light that I've noticed so far is the battery life. I have been using this for over a month. I have not charged it yet. It's got 3 blocks on the battery. It's still only used the first block, and I have never charged this light, and it's been an entire month. Pretty impressive in a world of things that need to be charged all the time, and too much in my opinion. The second one is Ulanzi. This is a really cool light. Same basic setup. Just enough so to kiss the subject's face. That's all you want. You're just trying to get a little light on the subject. We have to remember that noise, and when you're in the Cine EI profile and you're seeing noise, that swarm of ants, we have to remember that that comes from where light meets dark, the edges. That's where you see the most noise. If it's completely black and you don't try to pump up the exposure in the edit, you don't usually see that. And that's a lot easier to deal with. You can use a conversion LUT to actually crush some of that in the blacks. But where you see the most noise is not in the bright spots or not in the really dark spots, it's the in-between, right? So this is just gonna give your subject some light if you want to shoot on the shadow side of the face, and then you hold this thing right against it. Now, obviously I wouldn't have it in the frame like that, but this one has the same thing. You got your regular, you know, your Kelvin scale, you've got your presets, and then you've got your, basically your RGB colors, if you want to use it for that. It's got one thread mount in the bottom, so you can mount it like this, or like this, or like this, or however you want. Another cool thing, it comes with, the Honeycomb filter, if you can see that. So you got your honeycomb filter there, and that gives it a little more direction. So this way the light just spills out everywhere. Pop that honeycomb filter on, and it keeps it a lot more directional. I also had a regular white opacity filter for this one, but that, I don't know where that is right now. I have to be completely honest. I do not know where that is. But this is I'm going to link both of these down below in the description. They're both 2 very affordable options to give yourself just a little bit of light in that touchy situation where it's a little too dark, and you just want to get that really dark and dramatic look, but you know, you don't want to you don't want to drag all the lights out. Sometimes some of us, if you're working with budget gear like I do, working with budget gear, you don't have the people to carry and the gear to bring out and the lights and the stands. And if it's windy outside, you need sandbags. This is small, easy, affordable options that can help give you some light and kind of save a shot or make a dramatic, dark and moody look that you're trying to get in your shot. Just enough to give the sensor something to work with. Sometimes that tiny bit of light is the difference between a muddy YouTube video and a cinematic frame. Think about scenes from films like Blade Runner 2049 or The Batman. These movies are dark, but they're not underexposed. They're full of controlled light shaping the darkness. So here's your assignment for the next night shoot. Switch to base 2500 ISO, set your exposure index to 1250. Expose until your monitor looks correct. Don't trust your eyes in the dark. Trust the signal. If you rate lower and expose properly, you will get the cleanest shadows you've ever seen out of the Sony FX30. And in the next episode, we take this out of the lab and we rig the FX30 for speed. We add one accessory that completely changes how you hold the camera, and we answer the question that everyone asks about Cine EI. Can you actually run and gun with it? I'll see you in the next one.